Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what your followers think of you, what your subscribers think of you, and I have 5 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, and this will be group number 5. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then I'll just move on to the reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Angel Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 1. So the people who will choose group number 1, Spirit, can you give me information about group number 1, about what group number 1's followers on social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, whatever it could be, whatever platform they are on, what do their followers think of their posts and whatever they post on their social media? Group number 1. So this is gonna be a bit of a like, I'm sensing that like your followers, they like you. They enjoy your your content, but it's like there's not this oomph factor. Like there's not your posts might not be popping as they should. Like so whatever you post on social media, or like whatever your followers are seeing of you, whatever you post, it's not like it might be a bit repetitive, and you might have to mix it up a bit. But I'm sensing that you have a lot of loyal followers who like everything that you do, but it's like some of your followers might pass by your posts, like because they might just be a bit too repetitive, a bit too like there's nothing popping, and it's not. But I'm really sensing that like your followers have a deep respect for you. They enjoy what you do, and they see you as a teacher, someone who can teach them wisdom, someone who can give them knowledge that they can't get anywhere else. Like, so they see you as someone who they kind of put on a pedestal. But the problem is that if you follow your teacher on social media, yes, you're gonna get teaching, but maybe you don't want to be taught all the time. Like maybe you don't want to have a teaching lesson all the time. Sometimes you might just want to relax and do something fun. Like not every, it's just like sometimes it's just information overload. Like it's so like some people might. Of course, if I don't think you should change this up necessarily, because it's like what's it like your like some people are not really you might just be giving your followers too much, so that they are getting a bit spoiled with what you give. Like your gift is, you're offering your gift at such a level that you're spoiling your followers. They get to the point where they don't really what's it called? They don't value it. Like it loses its value in their mind because there's too much of it, and so it's not a rare gem. It's a gem that they can keep getting weekly or daily, or like it's not this rare thing. So it could be that like if you would want some advice, even though I do think you're doing a good thing, but and like it's not your fault that your followers are turning into spoiled brats and are just getting used to you just handing them all the answers to the meaning of life and the universe and everything, and they are just there like just taking it, like getting it from you just without having to do anything, and you're just giving it, and it just seems like it just seems like it's for some reason they take it for granted, and so I don't think you should change this up, but I think maybe like if you want to do something extra for your followers, and maybe try changing things up and maybe do 1 or 2 posts or videos or whatever you do where you maybe do something completely different, something a bit more fun, something a bit like a break from what you usually post, just to show that like there's that you can also do that, but also try to like if you're posting a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom all the time, maybe try to make it a bit more of a something that people need to wait for, like make it if you do posts every day, then maybe post weekly instead, just so that people don't take you for granted. So that people actually have to wait for you, so that people have to get excited. Like sometimes, like people, when people are just being bombarded with gifts and beautiful things, they get lazy with it, and they stop getting excited, and they kind of like if you were gone from one day to the next, like then they would see the value in you, like then they would miss you, but you never give your followers any time to sort of miss you, or that's what I'm getting for some of you. For others of you, it might not resonate with you, but if that's the case, and maybe try to do to make it more of a rare gem that you share weekly instead of daily. But for others of you, I feel like that's not at all the case. I think you're better at for like half of you. I think you're actually the type who only posts every week or every other week, and so like it's like, so it's not complete. It doesn't resonate with you, but I think if that's you, then I still feel like there's something repetitive about what you do where you could just maybe change things up. But I feel like the common denominator here is that people like what you do, and they like being spoiled with your wisdom. But they are, I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle the cards and see for group number 1, what do group number 1's followers think of group number 1. The Empress reversed. So I think well, okay, so this card here, it says fertility and fruitfulness, and so of course it's reversed, and so there could be something about you being well, that kind of goes against what I've said before. So I think, like, again, I'm getting two energies. So I feel like half of you are very, very active on social media. The other half of you is very, very inactive. And so it's kind of two different energies I'm getting here. And I feel like this card here it's more speaking to the inactive energy that I'm getting, that half of you that's inactive. And I feel like for those of you, I feel like your followers might feel like you're not being fruitful enough, like you're not that maybe, okay, so like this could also be a message for all of you, because I feel like your followers don't see you growing, like you're not growing and at a speed that they feel like is the right speed for you. Like it's not. It seems like you might be in a standstill. Like you're not really popping. Like your numbers are not popping. Like you're not getting your breakthrough. And I think your followers. Like I don't actually think your followers. So really pay attention to this, because I might have confused you a bit before, but I was confused myself. But I feel like it's very clear to me now. So I don't think your followers have any problem with your content. They like it, they respect you, and they love the wisdom you share. But I feel like your followers have problems with you not growing your channel or your social media or whatever platform like you're on. Like it's not growing. You're not getting the views that you deserve, and so they are thinking of like ways how you could maybe grow on a higher speed, and so they think like maybe if you did maybe if you did more different stuff, like if you maybe did some pop topics, like if you're doing videos, for instance, on YouTube, like maybe your followers think you should do something popular just to draw in more viewers so that your channel can grow, because they can see you're having difficulties getting your channel to grow, and that's kind of like they feel like that, like you deserve more because you do amazing content, and they have absolutely no problem with your content. That's why they want your channel to grow, because they want you to keep doing that, because they know that that if your channel doesn't grow on a higher speed, you might get frustrated with it and even quit altogether. And so they don't want you to do that. So they want to keep getting the content that you do now, but they want you to do other content so that your channel can grow. So it's not really for them. Like, they don't really care what other thing you could, because they care about the content that you put up now. But they wouldn't mind if you did something a bit like if you spazzed out or did something a bit ridiculous just to get more followers. Like, I don't think they would feel like you would lose your integrity because of that. Like, I feel like it's something they want you to do because they want to see the numbers grow. But I'm gonna shuffle some more and see what your followers think of your. I feel like I want to know what your. I'm gonna shuffle these cards, these archetype cards, because I want to know what your followers think of you personally, and not your channel or your platform or whatever. But you, like, what do they think of you? Like, as a person. Okay, so with the gossip card here, I think like, this is actually not bad, because this card here, it says awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. And so there is something about you. I don't think you're a gossip, and I don't think, I feel like that it's not really what you're necessarily doing on like I do gossip on my channel. Like, that's like one of the topics I do in my tarot readings. But I don't know if you do tarot readings, but you could. Some of you might be doing tarot readings, and for I don't, and I feel like you're doing it a bit more. Well, you might not have sold your soul to the devil, like most of the other tarot readers mean. I haven't sold my soul to the devil. It's just a figure of speech. But of course, yes, I'm doing the gossip topics and the love and the all of the pop topics that some tarot readers do those, and some tarot readers have integrity, and so they do some other stuff. And that's fine, we're all different, and I actually kind of enjoy doing the gossip and the and stuff like that, because it's kind of fun to do. Like, it's like, if I don't get a lot of joy out of doing tarot, like, when you've done a lot of personal readings throughout the day, it's kind of like you get kind of tired of the heavy stuff. So sometimes doing a gossip reading is kind of a break from it all. But if you might be doing that, but I feel like you're not really doing it. Like, I feel like for some of you might be doing it, but for others of you might have this feeling that it's like this card here says, because it came out upright, so it's the light attributes, and so it says, like, awakens consideration for the feelings of others. So I feel like maybe you feel like doing readings about gossip or something like that, that it's kind of that it's a bit like, it's not honoring trust. Like, it's not, because it's also what this card says, honoring trust. And so maybe you feel like it's not your place to snoop into into people's business and like and maybe like and I feel like your followers actually like this about you, that you actually seem to have like a very good moral compass, like you're very considerate of people's feelings and you're very trustworthy. Like there's something very trustworthy about you. You're not, maybe also just like you're not a sellout. Like you do what you are comfortable with and what you feel like is your identity and matches your who you are, and so you kind of have never narrowed it down and selected what you like to do, and this is what you want to do, and that is what you keep doing, and I think people like that. People like that you have that integrity, and also that you have, like, you might also in your whatever you do, like maybe some of you don't do tarot readings, but for those of you, you might do something where you talk about feelings or psychology or something about and I think people, when they see or see your content, they feel very seen by you. Like they feel like you know them, or they feel like they can trust you. They feel like you're also like very considerate of like you might not you might seem just very respectful of other people's feelings. Like you don't talk about other people with disrespect. Like you're very you keep it very sober. I feel like you keep a sober tone on it, and it's very like very clean, like very you could also do something that has something to do with being clean or sober, or something something kind of therapy like, or something about like music, playing the piano or something, but I don't know. But whatever you do, I feel like with the prostitute, like it's kind of giving me weird vibes here, because I'm sensing that some people might feel like you're that you're just doing this for money, that you don't have your passion in it, that it's that you, maybe it's because you do something that's very repetitive, and so like maybe when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, people might feel like, okay, you're just doing it for money, because why else would you bother doing it if it wasn't for the money? There might also be something about you being slightly materialistic, and people might make that assumption just because maybe you look very good, or like if you do something where you put up pictures of yourself, you might always look very nice and have like and look a bit luxurious in some way. Like it's like you're like everything looks quite rather perfect, and maybe maybe people want to see you be a bit less perfect sometimes, like kind of spaz out sometimes, you shouldn't be afraid of smiling sometimes, and also saying the wrong words sometimes. Like, you don't have to cut it out every time you say something stupid. Like, sometimes it kind of gives you character if you say something stupid, and people are gonna think it's stupid, but people are gonna also, like, it's kind of a good thing sometimes to say something that's really, really dumb. I do it all the time. It's a tactic. Like, I'm actually not that stupid. It's something I do for the smaller folks, so that people want to follow me, even those who would be intimidated by my extreme smarts. Like, it's a tactic. It's like, yeah. So you could try saying something very stupid sometimes, like I did now, and that was also a tactic. It's just, I'm manipulating you into believing I'm dumb, and you could do that too. It's very easy. Just say something stupid, and people are gonna trust you. People are gonna think, oh yeah, I want to watch her videos because she's like me. Like, yeah. And so like, don't be so bothered by not being perfect all the time. Like maybe people feel like there's something a bit too, like, maybe you also wear makeup, or maybe it just looks like you wear makeup. Like, maybe you just have very, very dark eyelashes or something, like, from, like, naturally, and which is great. Like, some people do have that, and that's amazing. But you might have that, and so, but I feel like people tend to think that you just look a bit too perfect, or you act a bit too perfectly, or you say everything like perfectly, like it's like you never make any mistakes, like, and people want to see you make mistakes. Like, there might be something about you that's slightly robotic, like a robot, when you speak, because it's like a machine, and like, it's great to be a machine, and maybe you're just like that. Maybe it's not because you're brushed out, or that you're cutting everything out that you say wrong or something like that, but maybe you are just a machine, and you go through everything perfectly because you're just very good at what you do, which is also just amazing if that's the case. But some of you might be scripted, and if you maybe try not to use a script if you do videos, because maybe that's why you sound a bit robotic, because maybe it would flow more naturally if you just winged it a bit, or try to memorize the script in your head instead of reading from it. But with a bully card, this card here, it says highlights your tendency to intimidate others. So I think that there is something about you that's intimidating. Like, people, there might be something about you where people are just intimidated. Maybe because you're, like, you could also be be slightly bossy sometimes. Like if you're a teacher, like if you do something where you're teaching something, you might have like a bit of a teacher tone where, like, you get so eager when you want to teach people stuff, and you're very passionate about it, and you really want them to listen, like you really want people to listen closely and pay attention. And maybe when you want to make people pay attention, you might be like, you might talk with a bit of like a more passionate voice, like, and that's like nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but maybe some people, like, I don't think people are like, I'm sensing that people are very respectful of you. Like they respect you. They see you as very mature for some reason. Like there's some maturity, something that that maybe also might like you're in a. I feel like some of you might be in a different, like, in a different state in your life. Like you're than your followers. Like maybe your followers feel a bit behind in some way, where they feel like you have evolved into something, like, and you might have left some people behind. There might also have been some involvement, like you might have evolved a bit, like I don't know if some of you have had your like your channel, like you might have a YouTube channel, some of you, or an Instagram account or something, like, but you might have been doing that for a long time, like for a few years. For some of you, for others of you it doesn't resonate, but for those of you where it resonates, I feel like people might have seen how your content was very different in the beginning, and they really enjoyed you in the beginning, but then they feel like you evolved and you leveled up, and when you leveled up, you might have left some people behind that didn't level up with you. Like they didn't have the same development of like that you did, and so they haven't. So maybe if you go back and see what you were doing in the beginning, maybe do some of that again, just to maybe get back to those you lost in the beginning, where that are still in that state, just to kind of pick them up and take them with you, like so that they don't feel left behind. So with this card here, like it's a blank card, and so I feel like people also tend to feel like they don't really know you. Like people might see you as a bit of a mystery. Like every time people feel like they know you, then you might evolve and they can't recognize you the next time they see you, or like there's something where you might like people have a hard time figuring you out, like on a personal level. Like they don't know who you are as a person, and it's a bit of a mystery to some people. With a thief reversed, I feel like people see you as very original. Like you're not trying to steal content from others. You're trying to do something very original, but they also realize that when you're doing something original, when you have your own original style, it's very original, but it might not draw a lot of attention to your channel, because it might be too like it might just be too original for common folks to understand. So and with the victim card, I feel like I think people see you as a bit of a, like, people see you as a victim. People see you as someone who has been through a lot, and you have maybe experienced everything. Like I think many of you have had a very, very hard life. You have been through a lot, and you might have been the victim to something that also might be something you're talking about on your channel or on your Instagram. Like you're talking about some kind of taboo or something, and you're doing it in a way where people feel like because this card here, it says prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. And like I didn't like I think you might have some content about not getting victimized, like helping people who are like in risk of getting in the same place as you did or something, and helping people not get victimized. I don't know, but like I'm sensing that you have a lot of wisdom about life and reading the red flags, and like being able to like use your intuition to not to kind of prevent yourself from getting into trouble, and then maybe you're sharing that with others. But I feel like that's maybe a smaller portion of you who are doing that sort of thing. But with a child orphan here, like I feel like you have been, like, some of you have been through a lot, and maybe you have also been sharing your story, and I think people actually want to hear about that. I think people, one of the things about this card here, the mystery card, is that people want that mystery to be filled out. People want you to write it, because this card here, like the point of this card is that you write your own, you fill it out, and I think people want you to fill out the blanks a bit, and maybe share some more personal stuff, because I think you do that, but I think you do it kind of in like small portions every time, and it's kind of like you give small puzzle pieces to who you are, but you don't give people the whole picture. And so people have a, like, I think people know that you have been through a lot, like you have had a hard life. It must not have been easy to be you, and but they don't know the whole story, and they kind of just want you to share that story. But I'm also, this card here, it says independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. And so I think people see you as someone who is like, you're very independent, you're very you've done everything on your own. I feel like you've built everything up on your own. You've done everything on your own. And I think people realize that. People realize that no one has carried you. What you have is something you have worked a lot on yourself. And people want to get like people see that. People see that you have struggled, and that you people see your independence. So with the Virgin card, it says maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. And so I feel like people see you as someone who's very pure. Like you're a very pure soul. You might not be a virgin, but you have that pure soul thing where people feel like you might not swear a lot on your channel. Like you might keep a sober tone, as I talked about before. Like you don't you keep it very light and pure and bright, and spiritual, and I think you talk about spirituality in a very pure way, where you feel like you have a way, like I feel like some of you talk about spirituality on your channel or on your Instagram or on whatever platform you use. I think you talk about it, but you talk about it in a way where people actually feel like it's just so simple. Like they've never really thought about it that way. Like it's simple yet so profound. Like it's so like you have such a, like, because it's simple to you. Like it's like when you see like a dancer who has danced for 40 years. Like when you see them dance, like they can dance the hardest dance of them all, but they do it in a way where it just looks so easy. Like it's just like the easiest thing in the world. And some of you might be dancers, I don't know, but I feel like I feel like it's more about spirituality here. Like I'm gonna keep the red thread about this. Like spirituality. I feel like when you talk about spirituality, you do it like a very experienced dancer makes it look easy to dance like a cha-cha-cha or something like that, even though it's very hard. I don't know if cha-cha-cha is very hard. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't even know if it's a dance. Like, is it a real dance, or is it just I don't. But I don't know. But you make it sound so easy. Like it's so easy to that your connection to spirituality, or your way of using spirituality, it's just like when you talk about it, when you teach it to others, like it just sounds so easy. Like you make it sound easy even though it's really, really hard, but you have had so much practice, or maybe you're just a natural at it. But I feel like it's just so it's just like so it's people get really comfortable when they listen to you talk about spirituality, because you do it in a way where people are just comfortable with it. Like people feel at ease, like because they know you got this. Like you, yeah. So with a scribe here, like it's kind of in the same. As I talked about before, like it says preserving knowledge and information. I think you are like there's information overload on your channel, or on like you give so much information, so much knowledge, so much wisdom. You share so much of what you know to others. Like you do it in such a selfless way, like such a generous way. Like you don't filter yourself. You just give. Like some people might be afraid of sharing their wisdom with others because they are afraid that people are gonna steal their ideas, or steal their people. Some people might hold themselves back just because they are afraid that people will misuse the wisdom that they share. But you don't. Like you just share it. Like you're not afraid of people stealing your ideas, because you just share everything. And yeah, you spoil your followers, but they do seem to really like it. I think they wouldn't mind if you kind of held back sometimes, if it's like also a lot of work for you to share so much information and so much wisdom. and with the Knight, I feel like it says loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. I think there is something very like, even though I think people see you as a very mature person, there is something very youthful about you. But you also like just people feel very like, I don't think people see you as like I think people see you as loyal, but people are also just loyal to you. Like, but they see some kind of like glimpse in your eye, like, or like you could have like a bit watery eyes. Like some of you might be a water sign, but like I think there is something like something charming about you. Like you charm people. I feel like you charm people with your eyes mostly. Like, and it doesn't really matter if you have makeup on or if you have like, because it's so the way you look is, it might actually just like it's a charming mechanism. It's like a magnet to people, but you don't actually have to do anything to make it a magnet, because it's a magnet. It's a magnet on its own because God created you as a magnet. So you don't really have to alter anything in order to make yourself a better magnet. But I think like sometimes, like if you have too much makeup on, if you dress too much, like too perfectly, if everything is too perfect around you, people might get or people might just get a bit distracted by that, or maybe feel like the message might get lost in the appearance of you. Like so maybe tone it down, but you don't change yourself just because of this. But I'm just sensing that people might like you to just be more natural and more simplistic about your look. But I'm also sensing that you post a lot of things at night, or that some of your videos are recorded at night, and that's a good thing. But I feel like maybe like it's not like this is not criticism. I think it's just an observation of. I think people might think of you as a nocturnal being, just because it seems to always be night in your videos, or like whatever you're doing. Like it might always be you might always post something when it's dark outside. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you want to book a personal reading from me, check the description box below and find some information on how to get one. And yeah, have a lovely day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this, the influence of the angels tarot, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 2. So group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2. I'm sensing that some of you are more Instagrammers, or you have a following on Instagram, but you could also do something else like YouTube, but I'm just sensing something about Instagram. or pictures, like posting pictures more than, but it's like, but okay, so group number two, the people who will choose group number 2, what do group number 2's followers think of group number 2? What do group number 2's followers think of group number 2? I think like people see you as very beautiful, handsome, like you look very, like you have a symmetrical face, and like you're very like picture perfect, I think, like it's but I'm also sensing that if you do pictures, like if you have an Instagram where you have like landscape photos or something, like it's also just like photographically very pleasing to look at, very very aesthetically pleasing. You could be Libras, like I don't know, but like but I think you have an eye for beauty, like for catching beauty in some way. 6 of Pentacles. So I think people see you as very, like I think your followers see you as very giving, like you're very you're very generous. I'm sensing that they see you as more of a giver and not a taker, like you give more, and maybe you also like you spoil your followers with a lot of content, like a lot of pictures, a lot of, like if you're on YouTube you could post a lot of videos, like but I think like your followers are very, like your followers feel very spoiled by you, like but they also put you on a pedestal, and they see you as someone they look up to, I think. Like they see you as a role model in some way, but or the perfect person, like the person they want to be. Like many people look up to you, and so you must be doing something really amazing, because I'm just sensing that people are like very but people also feel like you're also generous with your time and energy, and like people might comment on your content, and you might reply to every comment that comes, like in a very nice way, where you thank people who have commented something, or like people just see you as very nice and very kind and generous with your time, like and grateful of what you have, and like you might also like teach people gratitude in some way, like you might have made some posts or some videos about how you're very grateful for what you have, and like how gratitude has like changed your life or something. How when you started to thank the universe, or thank the spirit, or thank people around you for doing nice things to you, or for just existing, like maybe you have like done some very inspirational content about how your life changed when you started thanking your family for just being there for there, and but just existing, and just like how like I don't know, but I feel like people are very inspired by you. Like you have like some inspirational speeches that you do sometimes, where people are like, people want more of that. I feel like you might also do it in writing, but you might have a blog. Some of you might have a blog where you write posts about your life, about what you're grateful for in your life, what you don't want to take for granted, like something, I don't know, but people see you as like a very, people might see you as slightly sanctimonious, in like you're a very positive person. I think you're a very optimistic person, and you're very light-spirited, or like very light in the way that like you might also talk, you might have made a post about forgiveness, or something, or made some kind of speech, or written something about forgiveness, and some people were very inspired by that. Other people might have felt like it was toxic positivity, even though it wasn't. But some people might be naysayers, and so but there's always haters. Haters gonna hate, and so it's not something you should take that. But don't get too bothered by that. But because like 99% of everybody that watches your content really just sees you as this Mother Teresa kind of person, like you're, and someone who has like a lot of like experience. I feel like people see you as someone who's very experienced, someone who's very wise, someone who can teach them a lot about life, teach them a lot of life lessons. Like some of you could be psychic mediums, because I feel like some of you might have talked about how you have been in contact with spirits, but I'm sensing that people just want, like, people would like more from you. Like I feel like even though you give a lot of yourself, like people still just want you to give slightly more of yourself. Like people want more. Like always, like you keep people like craving for more of you. So there's absolutely, like what you do is absolutely good. Like it must be really good, because it's not like people just see whatever you're posting or whatever, like and just pass it by. Like they actually want to stick around and know more about you, and see more of you, and see more of your. Some of you might have some creative projects going on where you might do something about with photography, or with paintings, or something artistic, and people just really enjoy looking at that, I feel like. So people can't really get enough of it. With the Three of Swords, people see you as someone who has been through a lot. Like you've been through something difficult. Maybe you have had your heart broken, or maybe you have been through some trauma or something. But I feel like people see you as this strong person who has overcome a lot. But they also see you as someone who's like, they might see you as someone who has slight sorrow behind your eyes. Like they can tell that there is some darkness there, that you might sometimes hide away, because I feel like your posts, especially on Instagram, they might be very positive and very like very much about embracing life and doing what makes you happy, and maybe some people feel like you're not being completely genuine, because they see some sorrow behind your eyes, something like there's an indicator that there's a struggle that you're going through, maybe right now, that you're not really talking about, or that you're not being open about, that people would rather want you to talk about that and be open about that, instead of posting these pictures of all this beauty when there's so much ugliness in the world. Not necessarily as criticism, but it's just more like ugliness in your world. Like there's something going on. I feel like there's people. I feel like some of your followers, they know that you're going through something, that someone either treated you badly, or that you've been through some kind of hell, but you're only talking about like heavenly stuff, like, and not really going through some of the demons. So I feel like people want you to maybe talk about the demons. So, because the light cannot exist without like the dark, like, and like sometimes it just has to coexist in some way, and sometimes the light will shine brighter if it's shining after the darkness. Like if the I don't know, but what does group number 2's followers think of them? Think of group number 2. 3 of Wands. I feel like people see you as someone who's very ambitious. Like you want you're going places. Like you could also have posted something about traveling. Like people might see you as a traveler, someone who has been many places. Maybe someone who knows a lot about different cultures, a lot of that you know a lot about different countries, that you might also know a lot of languages. Like you might be bilingual or multilingual. So with the 8 of Cups, I feel like people do see there's there's some kind of depression. Like that it might not be something that you are open about, but it seems like people know that you're withdrawn from society in some way, and that they want you to address that you're in hermit mode, and that you're maybe a bit isolated, and that must be hard for you to be isolated, and that's something that many people would relate to, I think. So people want you to talk about it because they want you to know how you feel, because then they would feel like it's not it's not that bad to feel the way that they feel. Like they want someone to talk about this openly. How, like, I feel like some people might see you as a bit lonely or isolated. I don't know why they might have this assumption about you, but I just feel like it's not like people are criticizing that. Like, people are just really curious about, like, hearing your perspective on that, and hearing you talk about and put words on your feelings. And maybe you're really, really good with words. Like, you might have a way with words, and you might have like a very poetic side to you, where you're very good at expressing yourself with words, and or maybe in a creative way, in another way, like maybe. But people want, like, if you're a painter, like, I think people want you to paint the sorrow. People want you to paint the loneliness, paint the dark, paint the shadow, because maybe you're just painting too much of the light. Maybe your paintings are a bit too, or your photography or whatever, like, it's too bright, it's too happy in some way, where they want it to be more like expressive of your mental state, or that you talk about your mental state in some way, or because you might have hinted at it in the past, but people just didn't really, maybe you'd never really picked up on that later on, and so it's just been lingering in the air, and so you're not really touching the subject. But I feel like people just want to be able to relate to you more, and they feel like they can relate to you more if you're open about your struggles, because they feel like they have some of the same struggles as you, and so they want to know how you're doing, because then they can maybe relate to it. So with the Empress here, I feel like people see you as very caring and very loving, but it's like you forget yourself a bit. Like, maybe you're so focused on everybody else and being there for everybody else that you kind of forget to make it about you sometimes. Like, maybe you make it about everybody else. Like, if you're a photographer, you might only take pictures of other people, and then people are like, when, like, I of course, like, it's a bit weird for a photographer to take pictures of themselves, but maybe some people think, like, when are we gonna see a picture of you? Like, when are we gonna see you? When are we gonna experience you and hear about you? Why is everything about everybody else? Like, so with the Ten of Swords, people see you as someone who has been, like, again, a bit of the same, like, been through a lot. Like, you can also see it with, like, this, it's a sorrow, like, this Page of Swords here, like, it's the sorrow behind the eyes that I feel like people can see. Like, you can see the sorrow in this child's eyes, like, and it's there. Like, even if you're trying to smile through it, like, people can still tell that you're sad, even if you act all funny and do, like, these happy posts. Like, people can still tell that there's something that you're not openly talking about. and people are kind of, I feel like people are, like, it's not like people are worried, but I feel like people are a bit worried, some of them are, but I think mostly people just want to be, like with the bubble here, like it was actually exactly what I was thinking, like they want to be a part of your bubble, like they want you to let them in and be a part of this bubble that you have. Like, people want you to share so that they can be a part of your journey and experience what you're experiencing with you, like be there with you in everything that you are struggling with, and they find, I feel like people kind of feel like they are left out because you're not letting them in on whatever you're going through, like so yeah. But people seem to be very, very, like, people love to know more about you. Like, people, you're someone who people really admire, and people really like you. There's and they are very invested in you and your life. Like, they get really invested in your story, and they just want more of it. Like, some of you could have some kind of podcast where it's like a story every week, but it may not be your story. Like, maybe you share other people's stories or something, like true crime or something. I don't know, but I feel like it's like people feel like you tell all these stories, and it's great. They always love to hear like the next story that you will tell, and like they are really invested in these stories. They just feel like there's one story that you have left out, and that is your story, and that's a story that they really want to know more about. And so, yeah. But I think with a rabbit here, some people might be like concerned that you might be on drugs. I don't know if you are, but if you, it's not like your followers would, like, of course your followers would be, of course, like would think that's bad and you shouldn't do that, but it's not like they wouldn't criticize you. They wouldn't unfollow you if you were open about your about that. There wouldn't be a problem there. But I feel like people would actually want to know about it, like, because I think some of your followers actually struggle with the same thing, and so they just want to know that they are in the same boat with you, and that it's a shared problem instead of so people kind of want to know, like, people are curious about it because they also feel like it would explain why you're a bit withdrawn sometimes, but I don't know if you actually are, but people would, like, if you are, I feel like people want you to be more open about it, because right now it's just speculations, and I don't know if people are just so curious that they just want to, like, get that out of the picture because they just get so, like, obsessed with knowing if that's true or not. I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards for you as well, about what you're. So with a priest here, I feel like people see you as someone who's kind of like a bit sanctimonious, a bit like preachy. You might be better at preaching than doing. Like, you might be better at helping others and giving advice to others. But some people might feel like you're not really using some of your own advice on yourself. Like, you're you're better at teaching, but the people who can't do, they teach, and so maybe they feel like you're giving all this great advice to people, like, and you're good at giving advice to people, and people really admire you for sharing and doing all these inspirational posts and all this great stuff. But they might feel like you're not really implementing it into your own life as you expect other people to do in their life. This card also says facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. So as I said before, some of you could be mediums, like you could be a channel of spiritual energy, like you could but I think you also, like, you like to talk about spirituality, you like to you're a very spiritual being, and but the way some people might feel like the spirituality kind of the spiritual side of you, that it's kind of another addiction in a way, where I don't know, this might just resonate with a few of you, and it's but I feel like some people might, of course, again, haters gonna hate and all of that, but I feel like some of your followers, they might see that you have had an addiction in the past, and that you have, like, changed that one addiction that you had in the past, changed it up for spirituality, and that spirituality is now the other addiction that you have changed that for, or whatever, some people might also feel like it's a bit of a phase, like it's that it's just a phase that you're going through, like it's that it's just that it's not gonna last or something. Maybe you did maybe you switch up your content, like maybe in the past you did posts about something completely different, then you might have started doing something, like maybe you did, if you have a YouTube, you might have done some videos in the past about where you did like makeup tutorials or something, and I just as an example, and then you might have switched up to some more spiritual stuff and started to start talking about spirituality, and then you might have like switched it again or something, and maybe people feel like maybe some people feel like you're that they can't really that you're not completely consistent in what you're doing, or but I think they like that you switch things up a bit, but they feel like it's all just dancing around the real subject, like the real thing that you should be talking about, and that is maybe more yourself, like your own story, and I think people are actually more invested in just you sharing about your personal life and not all the other stuff. Like it's so yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Mops Tarot and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 3, so the people who will choose group number 3. Group number 3. Group number 3. What do group number 3's followers think of group number 3? Spirit, what do group number 3's followers think of group number 3? I'm sensing something like you seem very funny. Like there's something about you that like you seem to have a very good sense of humor, and I think many people pick up on that. That you have a good sense of humor. You might be a bit sarcastic. Like you could have like some kind of gimmick, or like I don't know, but it's like your humor is so like it's so grounded in you. Like it's you have like the way you are is just humorous. Like you people get really happy around you and get really like because you have there's just something about the way you talk. It's just like, well, I don't know. I can't really like I can replicate it, but it's just like I think people just see you as like someone who's like oh yeah, like there's something very charming and seductive about you. I feel like you have like there's something like you charm people. You're very charismatic and very funny. Like you oh god, like I can't really describe it, but you might just have like a way like where you pinch your eyes like you're a bit like you're a bit more than everybody else, but it's like it's sarcastic, so it's like you're not being serious, but it's like people know that it's just a gimmick. Like that it's not like you're full of yourself. You're just like it's maybe just a part of your humor. It's just to oh yeah, I'm so great. Like everybody loves me. Everybody wants me. It's just like I don't know, but like and it's great. Like and people like that. People are just in love with that. Like I feel like it's just people want more of that. People want you to show your personality, and people want just like there's something weirdly intoxicating about you. Like there's like people just get high off of you. Like they just want more of you because you lighten the mood. You have like your presence is just so freaking hilarious. Like I kind of want to be your friend. Like I feel like you're like I feel like there's no like, and I think your followers feel the same way. Like your followers want to be your friend. Like your followers, they like. They just want to hang out with you. Like I want to hang out with you, like, yeah, anytime, like, let's do it, like, but, if you want to, but, like, but I'm gonna shuffle the cards now and see, like, what your followers think of you. Group number 3, what do your followers think of you? I'm getting something about lobster, red lobster or something. I don't know, but I don't really know what that's about. It could be like something very specific for one of you. Like you might have some kind of gimmick about red lobster, or something. I don't know. But I'm also sensing that many of you are like very good with memes. If you have like an Instagram or something, like you might post a lot of memes and like funny ones, and like kind of like you might create your own memes, like where you turn maybe yourself into a meme or something. I don't know. Which people love. I feel like so yeah, with the six of wands, like people put you like up on a pedestal. They see you as someone they really want to hang out with. They want to follow you like everywhere you go. But there's also something about you that's just ungrabbable. Like they can't, you're not in their reach. Like they feel like you're so, like they couldn't just hit you up and talk to you. Like you're unreachable in some way. Like it's, and maybe a bit intimidating, even though like everybody wants to hang out with you. But there's something about you where people feel like they want to hang out with you. They want to be your friend, but they feel like you probably wouldn't want to be friends with them, and so they feel like somehow they feel like you're part of some kind of club that they can't be a part of themselves. And they want to, but like they like. But yeah, I think people see you as like very very fun. Yeah. So, what do your followers think of you? So, okay. So, with the Ace of Pentacles. People see you as well, there is okay, so there's some kind of, there is phallus here, like it's a bit phallic. So but also that has the word ass on it, so like yeah. But didn't even realize, like it's one of my first times using this deck, so I didn't actually realize that kind of but can you even say that? Like, should I censor it out? Like, I don't know, but I think people see you as like your followers think of you as like if you're a man, you might be slightly, you might people might assume you're gay, but or maybe you're just openly gay, and so that's it. But if you're a woman, I think people see you as someone who's who's popular with the other, like with the opposite sex. So it's kind of like you know, the picture, like the meme thing where that was like a lot on the internet a few years ago, a lot of years ago, but where with the lady that where a lot of sausages was poured into her face, hot dogs poured into her face, but and like that kind of vibe might also be like on your page or on your account or on your channel. Like people might people see you as someone who gets a lot of attention from the opposite sex. If you're a woman, if you're a man, you might get attention from the same sex. With a mop, with a dog here at the gate here, I feel like people also see you as someone who's like, who is like, you have doors open for you. Like there's some kind of, people feel like you're going places. People feel like you are, a lot of doors have been open to you, like maybe through your account or through your social media platform, that it has somehow opened up a door for some offers, or a new thing, I don't know, a new project or something has blossomed out of it or something, or people just feel like your social media platform is growing, like and that it's just in the beginning, and even if you have a lot of followers now, people still, like your followers still feel like it's gonna just keep increasing, and that you're gonna be very, very successful. Like I feel like your followers don't really have any doubts about that. Like they know that you're gonna be successful in the future. With the Eight of Cups, I feel like people do say that, like, sometimes you go radio silent without saying anything to anyone, and that kind of like makes people very concerned for your well-being, and they kind of don't know where you went, or like why did you like go silent for so long, or and maybe when you got back from, like, maybe you take a break sometimes from social media, but then you come back and you act as if nothing has happened, and people, it's something that you shouldn't stop doing, because I feel like it's just increasing the mysterious side of you that kind of is working for you, because I don't like, you're not, I feel like you're not necessarily the most mysterious person in the world, but like I think like I think you are quite direct, and like in a, like, yeah, but I think people, like when you just go into hiding and then like show up out of nowhere, people and act as if nothing has happened, then people feel like, oh, something big must have happened, and then they start fantasizing about it. Oh, maybe this happened, maybe that happened, maybe he's on drugs, maybe she's on something else, like maybe there was something else, like maybe there's depression, maybe there's some trauma. Maybe there's something going on in this person's, who's you, your life. I don't actually, like, I think for most of you just want a break sometimes, and that's okay. But like, keep doing the mysterious stuff, like acting all mysterious by just coming up, like showing up after a month break and just hey yo, like nothing happened at all. Keep doing that because it's working, because it makes people wonder, and kind of, I think you end up being more interesting in people's minds than you actually are. I don't know. I think like it's not like you're not an interesting person. You are an interesting person, but I feel like your followers have this a bit distorted view of you as very like they have created, like in their mind, created some kind of like backstory to you that's not at all true, and like people think you, like, yeah, people just see you as like very mysterious, that you're behind this funny exterior, you're hiding a lot of sorrow and stuff, and it's for some of you it might be true, but for others of you your life might not be that super interesting, and that is kind of the amazing part of this, is that you can kind of have both. Like you can keep this mystery going and actually get more wonder from your fans and be more like, I don't know, like, I think don't stop doing that because it's great. So yeah, with the 10 of Wands here, I think people see you as a hard worker, though. Like even if you take breaks sometimes, like when you get back to it, like you work non-stop, and people do see how much of an effort you put into your work, into your content, and people kind of assume that it must take a toll on you, which I think it does, but for some of you I think like might not be that bad. Like it's not you might not be the type of person who's like whining over stuff, or like you might talk yourself down a bit and be like, ugh, what? It's nothing. Like it's not like it's not like real work or anything. Like and you might talk you might downplay what you do a bit, and I think like people do tend to like that because it's kind of a part of your personality. But I think people do see through it and they know that like you're spending a lot of time on what you do, and so it is of course something that like you must be prioritizing this over something else. Like that there must be some sacrifices in what you do, and so I think people kind of realize that, or people contemplate about it, wonder about like what is being sacrificed for you to do what you're doing. So, but I'm gonna shuffle these archetype cards to see what else is what group number 3's followers think of them. Okay, so they see you as a lover, and it says great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So there is something that you're definitely very passionate about, that you're doing, the content that you're doing, like people do see that you're very passionate about it. Like you have a love for what you do, and a love for your followers, and love, like yeah, and you're devoted to the thing that you're doing, I think. And with a god here, like people see you as, like people really put you on a pedestal and see you as a god, like, and a queen. A god and a queen. Like, and a hero. Like, what the hell? Like, who are you? Like, thank you for, like, why are you here? Like, why are you, like, wasting your time on this small channel? Like, go watch something else. Like, feel like I'm not really worthy of this energy here. Like, okay, I know. But you're here on, you have free will. You can do whatever. But I think like people really like, this is crazy. Like hero, queen, god, and lover, and child, magical, which is also a quite great card. So it's like, yeah, you're just like, you score 10 out of 10 on the whole board here. So your followers are very, very intrigued by you. They see you as like someone who's, who has benevolence and compassion, recognizes the eternal force within yourself and others. Like you are like, people feel weirdly loved and seen by you, so that even though you're like this hero and this queen here, like you make people also feel like you appreciate them, like you appreciate all your followers, like so people feel like they so you make people feel very good, and very welcome. Even though you're a bit in, like you're not, even though you have like this great energy, like you're going places and you're shooting for the stars and all of that, you seem to have a groundedness to you where you are grateful for your followers. You appreciate that they are there, and you know that you couldn't be the person you are if you didn't have these followers. So they wouldn't like, but yeah, people see you as someone who's like, who has a lot of passion for what you do, and you also just radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So like you might also fight for others, like if you see someone else getting like picked on or something, like if you're doing something where there's a comment section, if someone is shooting at someone else in the comment section, you might ask that person to stop picking on that other person. Like you might be very fair and really want to protect also your followers, so that it's a safe space where everyone can share, and everyone can feel like it's safe to comment on your stuff, and that they are not going to be shut down by other followers, because you're there to protect them and say, like, if someone says something that's out of line, you're ready to break up the fight and say, like, no, that's not something that you tolerate on your channel or your account or your page. So with a child magical, it says seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. I think your followers see you as someone who's very like, you see the potential in everything, like in all things. You're also maybe very good at complimenting other people, like maybe even your followers. Like if someone comments on something on your channel or on your page, you might compliment that person and say like, that was a great point that you just made, and you make people feel good about sharing, because you actually give them that validation that they might have been seeking. So yeah, but people also see you as magical. Like there's something very magical about you. There's something like, you're out of this world. You're very original. You're very like one of a kind. Like you have such greatness, and people just want to bottle it up and like save it, because like you have something that's just is. People are just not in any doubt at all that you're gonna be successful in the future, and you probably already are really successful. So, but people know that you're gonna be even more successful in the future. So there's a lot of positivity here from your followers. So that's great. So yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to book a reading. And yeah, have a really, really great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this supernatural tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4. Group number 4. Group number 4. What do group number 4's followers think of group number 4? I'm sensing a very international vibe here, like you're very worldly, like maybe a bit foreign, like a foreign energy. It could be that you're a foreigner to many of your followers, but there could also be something about you that's a bit exotic, an exotic vibe that you give off. What do group number 1's followers think of group number 1? Spirit, what do group number 4. Group number 4's followers, sorry. What do group number 4's followers think of group number 4? I think there is something where okay, so I feel like people like your followers, they really like you, but you actually it's kind of funny, because a song keeps playing in my head. It's like I'm not gonna sing it. So, but is who's watching me? I just want to be left alone in my average home, but why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone? So I always feel like somebody's watching me and I got no privacy. So I feel like there's something here where people, like some of you might have a lot of followers, and so there might be a privacy issue where you're not, where there's where your followers have picked up on you being a bit paranoid about, and maybe for good reason. Like maybe there is a privacy issue where people aren't really accepting your personal space, or not respecting your personal space, invading your personal space. Maybe you have experienced some issues with too many haters, or too many trolls, or people just trolling for fun, and I feel like your followers feel really bad for you that you're going through this, but they also feel like you're kind of taking this too personally, that you're not, that you can't just brush it off, that you keep engaging with the haters instead of just leaving them be. Like you might go into some conversations with them, engage with them, start arguing with them maybe, and I think your other followers who just really adore all you do, they just look at you wasting your energy and your time on these lowlifes that just don't deserve your attention at all. So I feel like there's also but there could also be something here about that people, your followers might feel like you're a bit overly paranoid. If some of you are in the spiritual community, doing something spiritual or psychic or something on YouTube or something, doing tarot on YouTube maybe, then some of you might have talked about how you have been hexed by people, that people are putting spells on you, or that you're dealing with a lot of spiritual attacks or something like that. And talking about some dark energies, talking about people who are out to get you. And I think the thing is, like, I'm not really, like, I'm not saying that it's not happening to you, because it might be, but I think your followers might be a bit skeptical of the truth of it, because maybe many of your followers haven't experienced the same, so they don't know what you're going through. They don't know maybe they don't even know what hexing is, and maybe they don't know what it's all about, and maybe they haven't tried it, so being hexed by someone, so they don't know what it's like, and so they feel like maybe it's not true, or maybe you're just being paranoid, or maybe it's but I think people do, like, people have respect for what you do, and they know that you're a good psychic, and they know that you're like, they don't, like, if you're a psychic, then people are not in, like, people don't doubt that, but people somehow doubt what you're saying about this hexing stuff, because it's maybe too abstract of a concept for commoners to understand. So I don't understand it either. I haven't been hexed before, so it's like Sunitran. But I, like, I'm superstitious, and so, like, there's some other things that I struggle with. So I have paranoia about about other things. So, but I think people, like, you might have posted something that people just didn't really believe in, because they haven't experienced it themselves, so they don't really get it. So so it's not like but it's not like it's a bad, like, your followers, they are still very loyal to you, and they respect you and like what you do, but it's just this one thing that they don't understand, that they are skeptical of it. But there's, like, also some of your followers might feel like you really don't want to be famous, that you just want to live a normal average life, and that maybe you talk about that on your social media platform, that you actually just want to live a simple life, and that you don't actually want all the attention. And maybe some people feel like it's a bit weird why you're on a social media platform talking about how you don't want to be on social media. Kind of get that. I kind of see it, but I think I'm gonna shuffle some cards here for you, group number 4, about what your followers think of you. What do group number 4's followers think? Okay, so we have 4 of Pentacles. I think people see you as someone who has a lot to give to the world. You have a lot to offer the world. You have a lot of talent and a lot of skills and a lot of gifts and a lot of abilities, but you might be a bit withdrawn sometimes, and you might be like a prophet, like and there's like this saying about prophets, like especially like, well, in the Bible, like one of the ways that you know that you're dealing with a real prophet is if the prophet doesn't want to be a prophet. That's like the one tell, like it's a tell for knowing, oh, okay, so that's a real prophet because they don't want to be a prophet. That makes sense. Like, but and so maybe you're like a prophet, or not a prophet, but like you might have some visions or something that you share on some kind of social media platform, and you might be like a prophet who's like kind of like, maybe you give off this vibe to your followers that you kind of don't want to be doing what you're doing, like that you're kind of forced into doing it, like because you have to share your vision with the world because the burden has been put on your shoulders, like and so you weren't you didn't choose to do this, you were chosen to do it, so it's kind of wasn't ever in your hands or something. And if you could have chosen, you would have chosen to do something completely different, but it's like this field chose you. And so I feel like that, or I don't know if it's something you say to your followers, but that's kind of the vibe that your followers are getting. I think that you're that you don't really want to be doing what you're doing. Like they appreciate that you do it because they get a lot out of it. Like they are very grateful that you keep doing what you're doing, but they also have this feeling that it's really not what you would want to do. Like that you're not that excited about doing it. That you just feel like you have to. So but what else do group number 4's followers think of group number 4? So with the 6 of Cups, I think people see you as someone who like you help people. Like I feel like some of you might do some inner child healing or something on your social media platform. Like you do something that makes people that helps people connect with their inner child and heal that, and heal past trauma, heal childhood trauma, heal, like maybe you help people with PTSD as well, like or like help breaking spiritual bonds between someone who between an attacker and a victim or something, I don't know, but and people really appreciate what you do because people feel very healed by it. Like people feel like you help them discover things about themselves that they didn't know about. You help people get to the bottom of their issues, and you help people through self-discovery. Like you help people discover who they really are, and people really appreciate that. But they also like it. When they think of you, they think of themselves. So I feel like you create some kind of mirror to others. Like when people see you, they see themselves. They recognize themselves in you, and so they also realize certain things about themselves by realizing them in you, or you talking about, like when you talk about things that you have experienced, people feel like people can really resonate with it because they have experienced something similar. And it's I don't know, but there's also just a lot of familiarity. People feel very people feel very connected to you, like they know you, or like almost personally, like or you remind them of people in their life. But you also offer a lot of yourself to people. I feel like you have some kind of self-sacrificing thing that you do, like where you give and give and give, and you don't expect anything back. So you have a platform, a social media platform, where I feel like it's very one-sided, where you just give and you don't get a lot in return. And people do also recognize that it's very one-sided for you, and you're maybe not really getting the feedback that you're maybe seeking, or like maybe you have maybe sometimes you have like encouraged people to share their stories and stuff, and maybe people haven't been that good at sharing their stories. Like if you've asked them to, like people might have been like a bit withdrawn when it like so it kind of fizzled out or something, and I think people find that to be a shame, that not everyone, like I think some of your followers are kind of annoyed with the other followers, because if some followers feel like the other followers aren't really doing like what you ask your followers to do. Like sometimes you might give your followers some kind of assignment or something where you ask them to share their stories or share something about themselves or share something, and so you're expecting some kind of conversation with your followers where you listen to them and give them a voice to share their stories, but it's like no one's really like it's like people are doing it, but not enough, like not enough for it to become a big discussion, like a big thing. Like you might also have, like if you do YouTube, you might sometimes create these community polls, like where people can vote about something, and maybe people feel like maybe some of your followers are always loyal to you and always voting in these polls, but then there might be a lot of other followers who just never do that, and I think some of your followers feel like it's kind of a shame that it always seems to just fizzle out because nobody's actually attending the group discussion. So, but with the Seven of Cups, I feel like people see you maybe as a, like again with the paranoia, there might be some like people might feel like the one thing that makes you really great is also the thing that also has some negative sides to it. Like the fact that you are so psychic, you can see, you can have visions. Like this card here in Right Away, it's a cloud it's a vision where someone is imagining all these cups with different things in them, and so it's like an imagination card. It's about fantasy, it's about illusions, it's about but it's also about psychic abilities, about being able to have visions of the future, and being able to visualize, being able to manifest, being able to do all these great things that I think you're really good at doing. Like you're good at imagining stuff, like you're good at, you have a great like open third eye that can really see past the obvious things that like are right in front of you. Like you see through people, you can read people very easily, and like things are very clear to you that are very hidden to others. Like you see things very clearly, but the fact that you have all these psychic abilities and you can imagine different scenarios and different things, and like it also makes you a bit open to imagining stuff that might be like, even though I think most people know that you're a very good psychic, and so but I think people might feel like that paranoia is a natural downside to psychic abilities, that it's not necessarily that uncommon that it goes hand in hand, that someone who is so psychic and so open to everything also can get a bit confused to the point where you end up seeing bad intentions in everyone, and it's not necessarily that everybody thinks that it's like that the thing that you believe that people are hexing you and stuff like that. It's not that I think people don't think it's true. It's more that people maybe feel like you are picking up on too many energies, like that maybe you should somehow get a filter where you can just filter out the bad energy so that you can just focus on the good ones instead of allowing these bad energies to take a toll on you and be so much in the foreground of your mind, and kind of push them down into the background and let them have less space but I feel like, yeah, of course, because you're so psychic, you see people's bad intentions. You might read a positive comment that everybody else thinks is very positive, but you can read between the lines and see that, okay, it's actually it's that the person is just acting nice, but really the person is trying to sabotage you by saying something nice, but it's kind of a hidden insult, hidden in a compliment. And I think you might get really annoyed by exactly that, like when people are not being genuine, when people are saying one thing, but you know, because you're a psychic, you know that there's a bad intention behind it, and so you want to talk about that. You want to say to that person, no, that you can't say, you can't give me those backhanded compliments, because it's not going to fly with me. I'm a psychic. I know what you're trying to do. And so I think you have this urge to just tell that to all the haters who are trying to manipulate you, like trying to sabotage your channel by making all these backhanded compliments. But yeah, I think and I think you have your right to do that, but I think your followers might feel like you shouldn't give them the time of day. Like just leave them be and just ignore them and just delete the comments that they make and just act as if they never happened, like that they've never existed. And so I think people just want you to just listen to all the good. Like I think also people feel like you get so caught up with the negative comments that you completely forget about all the positive ones. Like people might, especially of your very devoted followers, like they really love you and love everything you do, and they love to tell you how amazing you are, and they feel like they aren't really getting the same attention that all the haters are getting, and they might feel like you're not actually giving them the time that they deserve, and you're giving all these lowlifes that don't deserve anything, that you're giving them the time that you should have spent on your devoted followers, I feel like. Because like your followers, they know you're the real deal, and they wouldn't even you shouldn't be so afraid that like that some negative comments here and there are gonna change the view of your devoted followers, because your followers don't care. They don't listen to the haters, like, because they are very certain of your abilities. So, but I'm gonna shuffle these archetype cards just to see a bit more about what your followers think of you. Group number 4. What do? So, with the addict and the warrior, I think people see you as someone who's like, with the addict here, like I feel like people see you as a bit of an addict. Maybe you have struggled with addictions in the past, and maybe you have been open about that, and then that's what resonates with you. But if that doesn't resonate with you, then I think people feel like you're addicted to something, like maybe addicted to drama. I know it sounds bad, I'm sorry, but like maybe people feel like you're seeking out the drama by confronting all these haters and not just deleting their comments, but actually engaging with them as if you kind of get a kick out of it, a kick out of like telling them and putting them in their place. And maybe people feel like it's a bit of an addiction to you, that you're but I know that's kind of a negative spin on it. This card also says helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So maybe you have just been like talking about addiction with your followers. Maybe you're not an addict, but maybe you have talked about addiction for whatever reason. Maybe you know someone who has struggled with addiction and shared their story or something. But I think people might also see you as like a workaholic. Like maybe you work a lot, and it seems like even like that could be a bit of an addiction to you, that to work and work and work and work and work, and maybe that you're borrowing your head in work so that you don't have to confront some other thing in your life. But with a warrior here, like people, like your followers are like, they see you as this strong person, like a warrior, like the card says strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. And so, yeah, people definitely see you as a bit self-sacrificing, like you give and give and give, but you're very like, you're strong, and people see that, and people want to, like I feel like also people want to know your secrets, like people want to know like what it is you do, like how you cope with the things that you have been through, and people are genuinely interested in that. But people also people see you as very experienced, like you haven't just you haven't come to success by sleeping. Like you have, you've actually done something to be that where you are today. And people know that it hasn't been easy to do what you're doing, like building up your platform, whatever platform it is, like building up this following that you have. Like it hasn't been easy, and your followers also recognize that it hasn't been easy to do this, and that you have been amazing to accomplish what you've accomplished. But that they also know that it's hard work and and dedication and devotion that has led you here. Like you haven't just been offered it. Like it's just not. It hasn't just dropped into your lap. Like so people see you as a hard worker, someone with a lot of work ethic. Like you're very. Some people might feel like you're not really like that you might sometimes benefit from lightening up a bit and not being so extremely serious all the time. But I think other people also enjoy that you have this professionalism, like you're professional in what you do. And you seem very professional, like, and you seem very experienced and very skilled. So yeah. But people recognize that you've been through a lot also in your life, in your personal life, that you have a lot of wisdom because you have experienced everything twice. Like you've been through every obstacle that can be imagined by your followers. So people feel like you are some kind of like a fountain of experience. Like you give off that kind of vibe. And people go to you for advice, I think. Like people feel like they listen to your advice because you have been through so much, and people know that your advice, it comes from a place where like they know you've experienced it, you've lived it, and you overcome it. And so getting advice from you is a good source of advice. So yeah, I think your followers are very like loyal to you, and like very like they love to listen to you, and they use your advice. Like they really use your advice. Like you don't think that what you're doing is pointless, because you are helping people, because people are actually listening to you and actually using your advice and actually implementing your advice into their life, and actually getting a better life because of you, because of the advice that you've given. So you've changed lives with what you do, I feel. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose the Alcohol Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you, group number 5. So group number 5, the people who will choose group number 5. Group number 5. Group number 5, Spirit, can you give me the answer for group number 5 about what their followers think of them? What do group number 5's followers think of group number 5? Okay, so I think people feel like your followers really enjoy everything that you write. I don't know if you're like if you do YouTube or Instagram or whatever, or TikTok or whatever. I don't know, but whatever you do, you might do something that has that where videos, something about videos, or like where there's videos or pictures, but somehow that's actually not what captivates your followers. What captivates your followers is what you put in writing, what you like. People love reading your posts. People love when you share something about yourself. I think that people also love your content because like your other content, your videos and your pictures and your music and your like everything else, like your art and all of that. But it's like when you talk, like when you write something, or when you talk about yourself in your videos, that's when you captivate people. People want to know more about you because you have a way with words and you can tell a great story. And with a bottle of lager, this is Ace of Pentacles, and so I think people see you as, like, your followers see you as very like people see people and your followers. I think I think you have like followers who aren't actually followers. Like if you're on YouTube, you might have subscribers who are not actually subscribing to your channel for whatever reason, but they still like watch every video that you put out. They just search it on up in the search tab instead of actually subscribing, and I don't know why that is. But maybe you're doing something that's a bit of like a taboo thing, or something that people see like a guilty pleasure, or people might feel like they love what you're doing, they love seeing everything you put out, but they don't want to be associated with it themselves for whatever reason. So they don't want, or maybe they don't want their spouse or their someone close to them to know that they are following your channel, or because maybe it's a religious thing. Like maybe you do something that's a bit like outrageous, or just not controversial, like, or maybe controversial in some way, like not conventional, not traditional, something that that people are very fascinated by, and very like. But it's also this thing that people, for whatever reason, people don't like to have it on their YouTube channel, that they follow your YouTube channel. Or if they have Instagram, if you're on Instagram, people might feel like they don't want to follow your Instagram account, because then all their family members will know that they are into whatever content you're posting, whatever. But it doesn't have anything to do with you personally. It's just that the genre that you do is maybe a genre that is that people just don't want to be associated with for whatever reason. Like, could also just be like you might it could also just be very geeky. Like you might have some very geeky, nerdy content sometimes, or have a channel about that, like about something that's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons or something. I don't know, but like even maybe more nerdy than that. Like maybe, and maybe some people just like they love watching your content, and they might even Google you just to, or like they check you on every social media platform that you have just to see if you posted something new, because they are like secretly very excited about it, but they don't want any of their friends to know they are excited about it. So it's yeah. With the Queen of Spears here, it's a Queen of and Queen of Wands. So I think people like your followers, your followers think of you as like very charismatic. Like I feel like some of your followers kind of have a crush on you for some reason. Like you might, if you're a woman, you might do something that is kind of that kind of attracts a more masculine audience. I know that it's not for all of you, but for some of you, I feel like you might attract the opposite sex. If you're a man, you might attract a lot of women. Like, but you might attract the opposite sex, and I think some of your followers are secretly crushing on you, because you're very charismatic, you're very charming, you're very like, and you talk about something that's maybe a bit like every time one gender talks about something that's not typically that not typical that gender, then the opposite gender is kind of going to be fascinated by it. Like if a woman talks about gaming, a lot of men will often stand in line to be like to ask them out. Like so it's kind of that vibe I'm getting. But also like if a man is doing something that usually women do, like tarot, or something spiritual, or magic, in something about intuition, some witchy stuff, some or something about like makeup, or like if a man does that, like women are gonna like of course it's kind of like if it's makeup, I don't know if it's gonna work that way, but but women are gonna be quite fascinated by anything a man does that is not typically masculine, I think. But and the same goes with women who are doing something not typically feminine, like gaming, sports, talking about sports, or talking about like geeky stuff like Dungeons and Dragons, role playing games, like not in the bedroom, but like out in the woods with cardboard swords and stuff like that. So, but I think like I think your followers are very, like they think of you as very charming, very also kind of outgoing, and like you don't, maybe you don't filter yourself that much, like you say just what pops into your mind, like you're not very you're not censoring yourself, like you're just you're very genuine, very authentic, very bubbly, like very yeah, also very cute. Like I'm getting a very cute vibe from you if you're a woman. If you're a man, you could also be cute. Like but yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards. About group number 5, what group number 5's followers think of group number 5. Group number 5's followers, what do they think? So students, so people see you as quite smart, someone who's a student. You could be just a student, like maybe you're studying something and maybe you're very excited about what you're studying and maybe you're sharing it. Maybe you also just study and then you do your whatever you're doing on social media or on YouTube or on whatever. Like you might do that on the side, but you might be open about how you're actually studying something else as your full-time occupation, like then you do something nerdy or something when you're on your YouTube or something. I don't know. But I think people see you as educated, or that you're studying, or that you're becoming educated. You could also just be a student of life, like you have a lot of experience and you like to talk about your experiences, might have a lot of great stories to tell about things that have happened to you. Maybe also a lot of fun stories, like maybe you're like a magnet to fun, maybe you're a magnet to weird experiences, like maybe you have like gone through life and just like felt like it was like it's weird that so many strange things have happened to you, like it seems like you're always the center of all things weird, like you're just there every time something crazy happens, and so you might have a lot of crazy stories, like and like very like stories that people might not even believe, like first when you say them, because like they're like, that can't be true, like how can that be true, like that, but then they hear it from someone else and they are like, okay, yes, it was true. But I think like people I think people like to hear you talk about stories, or tell stories, personal stories, like where you, like also like you might have some embarrassing stories sometimes, like that you like to tell people just to make just to lighten the mood, or make people feel good about themselves. Like if you like, this is maybe more in your real life, like this is more your real life persona, I think, but like I think you're the type of person who, like, if you're talking to someone who is experiencing something horrible or who's very embarrassed about something, then you might try to make them feel good about themselves by telling them a story about something that happened to you that was 10 times more embarrassing. Like, so you might have a lot of those stories, like, in storage somewhere in your brain, and every time you see an opportunity to use it in a good way, you kind of you kind of bring that up, and so yeah, I think people really like, your followers really like when you tell stories about your personal life, embarrassing stories, funny stories, crazy stories, like so. But this card here, it also says humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. And so like there's I think like your followers see you as very humble, especially about what you know. Like you're a very wise person and you have a lot of knowledge and you have a lot of experience, I think. But you kind of tell, like you kind of share it in a very humble way, where you're like, it's nothing. Like you might downplay yourself a bit sometimes when you share your wisdom and your experience with others. You might be teaching people something on your channel. And when you do that, I think people feel like you're very humble, like you're a very humble teacher. You make people feel like you make people feel very good about themselves by saying, like you might say a lot of like good things to people where you emphasize that you weren't that good in the beginning, that you sucked in the beginning, and so you kind of you do a lot to make other people feel comfortable about themselves. So yeah. But yeah, I think people see you as like people can see that you're very genuinely nice. You're very kind. You're very and you're like you're very like you're very pure. Like you're not a mean person. Like you're not judgmental. You're very tolerant and non-discriminating. Like you're very like you bring people together. You don't separate people. You don't take people apart. You bring them together. And like you try to create union. You don't try. You I don't know. I think you're very like group oriented. Like you're very. You might also preach about like teamwork and lifting as a group, and instead of like. And like you might also be very community based. Like you like to engage with your community and your followers. Like you like to get their feedback. You like to have an open conversation with them. Like an open debate. You don't and you're very good at like also making other people shine. You're good at like. You don't get jealous of other people's fame. You don't get jealous of other people's success, and you don't get intimidated by it. And you don't see other people as competitors. You see them as great people that you want to like. If you meet someone online or in real life that is a great inspiration for you, then you're gonna tell your followers about that person, and you're gonna share that person, and you're gonna show that person to their like you're gonna make your follower you're gonna make your platform a showcase for for other great talents. Like you don't feel like you don't have a problem sharing great talents with your followers, even people who are doing the exact same thing as you. You're not afraid of sharing that with others on your account. And I think people see that you're very humble that way, and people really like that you're not jealous, that you don't see other people as competitors, and that you're shining light on other people and using your platform to give other people more exposure, and more fame, and more like you're lifting other people up instead of putting them down or breaking them down. Like you lift them up, and I think your followers see you as very great because of that. Like it takes a great person to be able to do that, I think. So yeah, I think your followers really have a lot of respect for you. They see you as a great person, very charming, very very wonderful, and genuinely good, a very genuine and authentic person. So yeah. But I also think there's something about, like, people see you as very poetic. People see you as someone who has a way with words, and people really want you to write more, and maybe even like publish a book. Maybe you have talked to your followers about how you're thinking about writing a book, and I think your followers just really I think your followers are excited about that. They would want to read that book if you ever published it. Like they would be very excited about it. And so I think like your followers, they see that you have a talent with words, and they just want you to make use of it. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below on how to book one, and check for information on how to book one. And yeah, have a very great day, and bye.